Hi everyone, I'm Jason Rericha with YellowWood Wealth Solutions. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season and a great start to the new year. I wanted to reach out today to talk a little bit about expectations for our service model in the upcoming year. We've got a lot to do. We plan to do a whole bunch for every one of our clients, and as part of that, we need to be very structured in how we deliver that to you. I hope this video can better explain that to you, what our expectations are, when we're going to deliver this, and what we need from you to make sure that we can deliver this level of service to every one of you. So first and foremost, we do our monthly checklists that we send out to you guys. We'll continue doing all of that. Nothing you need to do on your end there. If there's any action items, we'll let you know, obviously. As far as the bigger picture strategy meetings that we do every year, there are the three that we like to incorporate. One being financial planning and forecasting, two being risk assessment, and then the third being a tax planning meeting. Now, in order to deliver that to everybody that is a client of YellowWood, we need to be very organized. And so what I want to explain to you today is when and how we're going to do this and what we need from you in order to make that happen. So the first thing we want to do every year with everybody is a financial planning meeting. This is a deep dive into all of your goals, all of your resources, assets, liabilities. We've been through this with you guys, but the importance of why we do this is because things change in your life. Sometimes your goals will change. Sometimes your time horizon change. Sometimes there's just things that happen in your life that we need to course correct for. It's important that we go ahead and do this because your financial plan and forecast, it's the foundation of everything else. So it's critical that we make sure we're up to speed and that we have an accurate picture of what your future is going to look like. Now, because it is so important that this is the biggest window that we are going to open up to serve our clients. Basically, from the beginning of the year through April 15th, we want to get all of those meetings done for all of you, update all of your financial plans, and make sure we get you guys headed in the right direction for the year. Now, in order to do that, we need from you guys to all go in, take a few minutes, look at your calendars, and use the links that we'll send out to you guys to schedule a time to have that conversation with us. We'll also need you to gather any updated information that we need to consider when making this analysis, as well as revisiting what are your financial goals, what's important to you. Obviously, we have a number of these things already in the system, but like I said before, things tend to change, so we just want to make sure everything we have is accurate. So that'll be the first meeting. By the time we get to the end of that, we're already going to be well on our way for the year. You'll have filed your taxes, or at least filed your extension, and hopefully paid whatever you need to pay to meet the safe harbor rules so that you don't have any underpayment penalties. But as we get into the second and third quarter of the year, the middle of the year, so to speak, that's really when we want to do a risk assessment for everybody. So we are going to target our risk assessment to be done in June and July. Again, all we'll need from you for that is to go ahead and sign up through the link. We'll send out the calendar links. You can just look at your calendar, sign up for a date in June and July that we can go ahead and review all of that with you. Why is this important? Why should you care? Well, the risk assessment meeting is where we're going to go ahead and look at your portfolio risk. How are each one of your accounts allocated from a risk standpoint, which should correlate back to your financial plan and what your goals are, right? Because your investments should ultimately be invested in a way that help you achieve your financial goals. So we're going to make sure that we are in alignment there, that you understand the risk that you're taking in each one of your accounts, and then kind of what the overall picture of what that means for you is. So we'll talk about the markets too and kind of where we're at that point in time, but mostly just understanding what level of risk you're taking, is it appropriate, and is it properly allocated to help you meet your financial goals. In addition to that, we'll consider other things, catastrophic risks, if you will, which were kind of where insurance would come in and that. So depending on what stage of life you're in, different types of insurances are important. We'll continue to review those things and make sure that you are where you need to be. Insurance is a tricky one, right? Because you want to be properly insured, but you don't want to overinsure yourself and just pay for things that you don't need to necessarily pay for. So part of this is really more so just educational for you to understand where are you, what risks have you covered, and if any, where are those gaps, and just making sure that you know that those gaps exist and that you are comfortable with them. If you're not, we can talk about different ways that you can address for that. And then the last thing in the risk meeting is going to be talking about estate planning. So many of you have your estate planning documents done. Some of you don't, and you know who you are, and you know you need to get those done, and we'll continue to remind you politely that we need you to do those, and it's in your best interest. Sometimes, though, you might move a state, or it might be years since the last time they're updated. You might get married or get divorced. There's all kinds of other reasons why you may need to update your estate documents. We'll talk about that as well. But we'll kind of want to just revisit the structure of how is your estate set up. Is it really what you want? If you have children, how do you want to control assets if something should happen to you? We'll also talk about if you have elderly parents or that, some of the challenges that go along with that. If you are elderly yourself, we'll talk about some of the key things that you're going to want to consider as you go through the later stages of life and what's important as you do that. There's a number of different things that are important there. And in those particular cases, we'll walk you through that step by step. So that's why it's important. That's why it matters. So anyway, that's going to be the second strategy meeting of the year. And then the third strategy meeting of the year is going to be tax planning. And we're targeting to do this between September 15th and November 15th. We'd like to get this wrapped up before Thanksgiving. And the reason why is because there might be a number of things that we need to implement before the end of the year. And it's hard for us to make sure that we can get all of that done on time while still having some of the tax meetings drifting into the end of the year there. So, and why do you care about a tax planning meeting, tax strategy meeting? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, we can do tax projections for you, so they're basic. If you have a CPA and that they're going to be able to do that a little bit better than we're going to be able to do it. But we can kind of give you a high level look at what that might be for you. We have software that kind of makes that pretty easy for us to do. All we need is copies of your W-2 or your income for the year, so that we can kind of project that out. We also can review your tax return from the previous year and then compare that with projections about where you might be. We can talk about different tax strategies, and there are a number of those within the types of investments you use, the types of accounts that you use, the income that you're at, kind of just how there's a ton that goes into that. We have other videos online that go into that, but making sure that you're doing the right things from that standpoint. And then, like I said, just making sure that we have time to implement all of this before the end of the year if necessary. Some folks may have some compensation changes that do linger on into December, and that's fine. We can handle that. But for the majority of folks, by the time we get to September, we can have a W-2 that kind of lays out what's going to happen for the rest of the year, and we can get pretty accurate projections on that. So again, all in all, today, just wanted to talk to you about kind of the things that we want to do in the year ahead here for you. It's very important that we deliver this level of service to you. It's kind of what our promise is to each and every one of our clients. We love doing it. We nerd out about this stuff probably more than most people, but we enjoy it. We love doing it for you guys. But as the business grows and as we continue to get access to more financial software and resources that allow us to expand the services we do for you, we on our end, we just need to make sure that we stay super structured so that we can deliver everything that we want to deliver to every single one of you. So if any of you have any questions about any of this, feel free to reach out. We're happy to have a conversation about it. Ultimately, our goal is really just to do the best we can for each and every one of you. And so if you have any questions, like I said, let us know. Otherwise, as always, healthy plan, wealthy life. Have a wonderful day.